Thank you, Brijesh and Ashish, for getting on stage with me. Right. Let's start first with the introduction. So first I'll start with Mr. Brijesh. Just if you can give us a brief introduction about yourself and
Sure,
how you
sure.
do it. Yeah.
So, hi guys, I'm Brijesh. I've been in the digital industry now for the last 18 years. Started my career with an agency called Communicate 2, sold it to Dentsu. Became iProspect, worked there for 10 years. 8.5 years back, started on my own. And we are now Athenos, 200 plus people agency across Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, work with enterprise clients, do performance marketing, and anything in digital. Yeah.
So thank you for this introduction. So Dr. Ashish, if you can help us in give us your introduction. Yeah.
Absolutely. So doctor only comes with the PhD. Please don't call me at night for any medical help. But of course, we are Narayana Health. We will. So, I'm Group Chief Marketing Officer with Narayana Health. Before that, I've been started my career as well at an agency, Maxis. Post that to Nokia, Microsoft, Ola, Medibuddy, and now with Narayana Health. So I think without any delay, let's start.
Sure. So let's start it this way. I will shoot a question towards you, or then you can help us in understanding more about how agentic AI can be utilized, or basically how different organizations are experiencing it in their different set of environment, or basically in their industry, right? So as you are part of the Narayan Health, one of the leading healthcare institution of India. So if you can help us in understanding by knowing, tell us one patient moment where a small personal touch changed the outcome. What was that touch for you, or in terms of Narayan Health?
So I'll start. So there are multiple ways of looking at touch points. Touch points, of course, the minute, because we are all marketers here, we very quickly understand, yeah, touch point becomes which channel, which nudge, which event.
Definitely.
But I'll try explain it from a healthcare point of view as well, because we've done a lot of work in the same module. So we've been we've been looking at, because healthcare for each user or a human being, there are 8,000 plus markers which you are individual and are very, very true to you. So,
Yes.
because that's the individuality and that's the personalization. So, when you talk about those nudges, we actually worked on those nudges. And there is I don't want to bore in terms of the clinical explanations, but what we did is, it's an underlining fact which don't come out until unless it's abrasive. We were able to set up models on top of it in terms of figuring out that this could be a problem 5 to 10 years from now.
Interesting.
And not only that, this is while you're doing a preventive health checkup, we were able to find out solutions like this. But we have also sat down on more than 1700 ECGs that we were able to predict 99% accurately that you have an underlying cardiac issue, which at the time ECG was looking absolutely normal, but the problem would have come from 10 years to 15 years down the line, and we were 99.3% accurate. So those are actually some of the things that I believe, rather than me finding out that event to nudge the user, I think those are fabulous, and that's the effort of our internal in-house team in terms of figuring out the right ways of utilizing the technology with the power of the doctor helping the patient.
So, being a marketer, we cannot, and especially in this health tech industry, you cannot nudge the customer multiple times, right? How do you manage the marketing that way that the brand presence would be there without nudging or spamming, or without spamming the customer? Or I shouldn't say customer, I should say patient, for you. And appointment booking, and these all certain cases which you would be handling. So, do you still feel that the human touch would be required, or certain tasks can be assigned to the agentic AI platform that can do that exercise relatively in a much more advanced way, and then whenever there would be a need, it can transfer to an agent?
Absolutely. So all the boring work in terms of data filing,
Yeah.
that which is required at a guideline principle level, which is, let's say, by IRDA, it is required to fill in a particular data while you go. It is required for insurance companies, it is required for TPA to upload all of that data. All of that data can be digitized, right? The genetic AI can actually manage all of it for us brilliantly. And then basis that, whatever planning you need to do in terms of telling the patient or giving the patient the information about what is the next step, that becomes very helpful, because otherwise it's a very monotonous job for somebody.
Yeah.
So that's one. Contact center also gets a lot of solve because of it. But I still feel health is complex.
Yeah.
And for complexities, if it is a hybrid solution, it works out very, very well. And
Yeah.
I think even in future, I think we've already defined the future, at least for the given 2 to 3 years, that this is how it's going to be. So in that case, we are very happy. Third, I think Anchit is not in the room, so I can happily say that we're not selling, of course, a loan or a gold product. It's about health. It's about getting a doctor's appointment or getting a preventive health checkup done or a procedure done.
Yeah.
In that case, it is required in terms of giving the information right. Of course, you don't bore them by saying that, oh, did you get your angioplasty done?
Done.
No, you're not talking
Yeah.
about that, but you're talking about them, how you don't get to a state where you need to do an angioplasty. So if that's a brand, as a brand, we've taken the stance that we don't want you to get cut.
Right.
And we want to be the brand which basically helps you navigate the journey of not reaching to an operation theater.
Interesting. Interesting. Think it's
I'll-
an interesting take.
I'll just add to
Yeah, please.
the nudging piece that you mentioned, right? So, see, it's important. I think all of us appreciate nudging if we are in the buying cycle of a specific product
Right.
or in a specific zone. Even as boring as diagnostic or as boring as health and things like that, like, to give you an example, that if I have taken a regular CPC test, say today,
Yeah.
and if from a brand I get a nudge 6 months down the line or 9 months down the line that, hey, 9 months back you took your CPC, it's time to take a retest. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind that nudge. Nobody minds that nudge. But if it's a cold nudge, take your blood test, take your CPC test, take your this test, then of course there's a big issue with nudging, And then you will see a customer saying, report spam, go to WhatsApp, report spam, and shut it off.
Yeah.
But if there is a lot of intelligence in nudging, so it's, I think he rightly pointed out, it's a hybrid world. AI agent can do. I think what a human needs to do is set up the AI agent, set up a regular interval of analyzing the AI agent,
Yes.
analyzing the performance of the agent, tweak the agent, improve the agent, and put it on work again.
Right.
But if you basically buy an agent and run it on your product, it will not run after a few weeks.
So you need to provide some level of intelligence to it.
Absolutely. So hybrid is actually the best. And as he rightly said, future to pata nahi, but हाँ 2 साल तो चलेगा. After 2 years, we'll figure out, what happens.
Something new will
because-
come.
Exactly. So I think nobody is able to predict 10 years from now, ये बड़ा हो जाएगा, वो बड़ा हो जाएगा. But I think we all have become agile. We all have seen, like one thing I've seen in the last 18 years, the only person's role which has evolved is the CMO of the company. Right? Because he or she had to change themselves because the
chief
consumers
growth.
changed.
They're getting more involved in the growth now. Recently I was reviewing an article of Unilever. It's about growth. Now it's marketing will start getting more into the growth side.
And the good thing is that, for instance, let's say for us as a team, we know what our direct attribution to the business is.
Yeah.
And we are happy to drive that direct attribution as well. So and we definitely don't call ourselves as marketing and sales. We call ourselves as marketing and growth. And by that, we also mean that we give a lot of inputs in terms of what products need to be brought out.
Definitely.
How the entire operations, that you need to do evening OPDs as well. Why? Because that is where my consumer is. They're absolutely available. And we take it very seriously when it comes from the team in terms of these kind of feedbacks, which I don't think so marketing teams were ever involved with,
Yeah.
ever involved in. And that has started coming. pricing is a very important factor.
It was always a cost center. It was considered as a cost center.
Correct. So now it is seen and okay, fine, this is the return that I am getting.
Yeah.
And those conversations have started happening even in the boardrooms as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So
Mr. Bridget,
in digital, there is a saying, right, from old linear TV to CTV or what. The good news about digital is that there is still a wastage, but we know what.
yeah.
When it comes to TV, there was a wastage. We did not know where, but now at least we know where the wastage is happening.
Totally. Yeah. So in your, as you are running a large organization across different cities and working with so many customers, how you basically consult them in managing their personalization? What's your take on it, that the personalization approach is required?
Yeah. So I think personalized approach, if you ask me, is required for every product, for everything, anything that you sell. Because what happens is that, you may, so there was an old marketing saying, right? Male, Metro City, 30, go target this person, or female, 20 at Metro City, go target this person. I think it's dead, because somebody who's born and brought up in Bangalore
Yeah.
and become 40 years, and somebody who's born and brought up in Bombay has become 40 years, they're very different people.
Yeah.
You cannot classify them into one group,
Persona
one
would be
TG,
different,
one
yeah.
persona,
Yeah.
right? It's more of subcultures now, right?
Yeah.
Today you would see that there is a subculture that people just like Korean beauty. You can't define female 22, 23, 24 are behind Korean beauty. It's just a subculture.
Yeah.
It may be starting at the age of 16 and going up to maybe 45. Like
Right.
my 12-year-old daughter and my 40-year-old wife, they both like Lineage as a product, right? There is nothing as such that, Lineage is now a brand for 22-year-old or 24-year-old. It's about that subculture. It's about that persona who is now into XYZ,
Yeah.
So similarly, personalization, hyper-personalization is become extremely important and very relevant in any product that you sell. Because see, what has happened for us also, right? India, I think apart after China, we are the one where we have 80 crore smartphone. People, we have to now find our customer. Unlike, there is a geo era, post 2018.
Yeah.
Post pre-2018, every customer online was a rich customer or an affluent customer. Post 2018, I think they are not online. They are busy working, and the guys who don't have, though they are we call so-called velas, are sitting online, and consuming the content that we want to
Right.
consume. So we'll have to now find our customers. We'll have to find the people that we are looking for. There was a pre-Jio era, anybody online, खरीदेगा. 1000 रुपए दे रहा 1 GB के लिए. We know that he is affluent.
Right.
Now 100 रुपए दे रहा रोज के 1 GB के लिए, तो we know exactly.
It's a kind of spray and pray kind of an activity.
Absolutely.
You
So,
just-
so more you hyper local for any product that you're selling. Even if you're selling a soap which is 10 rupees, or even if you're selling a soap which is $200, the more you hyper local, the more sales you see.
So let's do this thing. So what are the situations in which you think, like it's for both of you, where the personalization fails? Like that personalization, though we are talking a lot about that these days, situations, use cases where the personalization does a thing. What are the things where the personalization you think might not be required because we can target a larger audience?
So I think Brijesh very rightly pointed out, it's personalization required by every brand. Though he has taken away my punch, because I always come in very strongly saying that because it is healthcare, the personalization epitome. Now he said that, of course, and he's an expert in the field, of course. So I was thinking, yeah, he has taken away the punch. See, when the personalization fails is when you overdo. And by overdo, I mean, of course, you know my birthday. By knowing my birthday,
You blast.
and by knowing my birthday, you know my sun sign, you know what I do, you know my numerology, and then you start talking about all of that making sense to me. That's overdoing.
Right.
Please stop. So,
Yeah.
And also, as brands, we tend to do it, or as marketing teams, who are now started pushing a lot of business, then you try to oversell, and when
Yeah.
you oversell is when you're invading. So stop.
Yeah. In your case?
It's actually a copy shamelessly answer. It's purely overdoing. Whenever you overdo personalization, it's definitely not going to work. So
Right.
if you, as he rightly said, right, पता है मैं 1 July हूँ, पता है कैंसर हूँ, बस करो ना यार, मतलब why you want to now go deep into the whole ecosystem? I think as far as you be relevant, And also again, you, whatever you do, I think one big mistake is that equal intervals analysis is required. There is a big difference between observation and analysis.
Yeah.
A lot of people still do observations and call it as analysis.
Data crunching is not
Data
there.
crunching. People say that, oh, my CTR was 5 and now it's 2. That's observation. That's not analysis. Right? That, oh, my open rates were 4% and now it's 6%. Great. That's observation. Right? That it's not needed. But the idea is that any activity that you do, I mean, I'll just give you a simple example of personalization or analysis, that YouTube has 2 formats, right? They have a skippable and non-skippable. If you pick up any of our media plan, you would never see us running skippable, non-skippable in the same region. We actually run skippable first in a few pin codes, non-skippable first in a few pin codes, flip it, and then do an analysis and see what's working.
Yeah.
Whether working skippable here increased your brand track or working non-skippable here increased your brand track. So you may find it funny, ye kya kar raha hai? But the reality is, it works.
Right.
You just, I'll give you an example of personalization brand building, right? We just did one experiment. We ran a brand campaign and we ran a specific brand campaign in that period on happy content. The brand track improved. Because when I'm watching happy content, I'm digesting everything. But when I'm watching sad content, right? एक तो मेरा breakup हुआ है, मैं गाने सुन रहा हूँ गंदे गंदे, ऊपर से आप मुझे ad दिखा रहे हो, right? I'm not going to digest.
You're making me more depressed.
You're making me more depressed.
Yeah.
Right? But the minute you start seeing 4 बज गए, party अभी बाकी है, and you play an ad, I'm digesting it.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not doing it when, I'm very sad.
Right.
I'm reading about mental depression and suddenly you show me an ad, Narayan Health is the best hospital to go. I'm not going to accept you. Because
That is what used to be the environment
Exactly.
where you're
Yeah.
present.
Yeah.
True.
That's how
True,
you used
true,
to do TV advertising also. That this is the environment I want to be. This is the soap operas I want to work with. The same thing still remain true.
Yeah, I know that has the, वो पुराने ज़माने का था ना कि एक सनसनी न्यूज़ है तो TRP है, but अब वो नहीं है. मतलब, I think.
So I think you already had answered it. So according to you, more data means more personalization, whether in these days it's a myth or a fact. So I think you already had answered it with your date of birth, and everybody would be aware of it. But still, people or the organizations do work. I think it would be working in their favor somehow.
Yeah, so as much as you're collecting, that's a data to be utilized in relevant fields.
Yeah.
There's no harm in, just like there's no harm to know how many events do you have in your website and track those events, whether you're going to work on them or not, tomorrow you might need. That's one way of looking at how much data you're capturing. But when you are capturing those data points only just to make sure your dashboard or your Excel has all 10 lakh cells filled, that's something that don't ever do that. And of course, we have already answered it. There's no point covering too many things because I know that data about a user and sending him a SMS or a WhatsApp. So there's no right or wrong answer to that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
no right or wrong. It's all A/B test and figure out. It's just that, sometimes when you overdo it, as the problem statement was, where does it not work? If you have too much data, you end up overdoing it, it is going to fail. Because I as a consumer, I'm not going to like it. I as a marketer would love it. I'll show a case study to my board. Oh wow, I did this cohort, I did this cohort. But the fact is, I as a
And he
consumer,
level
will
of
pick-
analysis.
And he will pick up an award also.
Yeah.
The best marketing campaign for a behavioral understanding. of the
By
consumer.
showing a
yeah. But that ran like in two minutes. It did successful. But the impact it did on social media, that I don't know. There are some case studies of some finance players where they were king of sending SMSs. They were king of sending 20 SMSs
Calls.
a day.
And those are our benchmarks that we don't want to be there.
I think we are good. Let's conclude it with it. Thank you so much.
Oh, most welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.